Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld, and today we're going to talk about Battlefield Hardline. I think opinions on this game are pretty mixed, so I thought I'd do a quick video on the differences between Hardline and BF4 so that you guys can get a good idea of whether or not Hardline is going to be worth it. The 2 points I hear people bring up the most is that Hardline is either drifting too far from the mold, or that it's just a DLC that EA is charging full price for. These 2 points kind of contradict each other, and I don't think either is completely correct, so hopefully I can explain why in this video. In terms of what Battlefield Hardline has in common with BF4, well, it's definitely running on the same engine, and therefore a lot of its mechanics are going to feel the same. There are some differences. For example, sniping seems a bit easier, and the guns seem to be a bit more accurate, but in general the movement and gunplay feels very similar. Like in BF4, Hardline has 4 player classes which pretty much match up with the BF4 classes, except for different gadgets and a reorganised weapon system. Hardline is also going to feature the Conquest and TDM game modes, so bearing all of this in mind, any BF4 player should feel right at home and should be able to jump straight into a game without too much trouble. Now, as for differences, well, I think there's enough difference that you can safely say that Hardline isn't just an expensive DLC. I mean, I don't think anyone is going to claim that any of the games built on the Source engine are just DLCs for Half-Life 2, and the same goes for Frostbite 3. The graphics in Hardline are very different from BF4, and I don't think that the two games really look that similar. In the beta last year, some of the textures and sounds I'm sure were carried over from BF4, but by the time Hardline is actually released, I'm sure we'll be looking at a completely different game. Like I mentioned before, there are some subtle differences in the gunplay mechanics, and I think Hardline in general feels a little bit more arcadey than BF4 does. That being said though, I don't think it feels like a COD clone, and it definitely hasn't turned into a replacement for Medal of Honor like I thought it would. Obviously, they've decided to focus more on the infantry combat for this game because the maps don't seem quite as big and there aren't heavy armoured vehicles and attack aircraft like in BF4. It's not like they've forgotten about sniping or vehicles altogether though, because the maps are definitely bigger than in most FPS games, and one of the new game modes, Hotwire, is almost entirely based around vehicles. So the question is Hardline really a different game, and is it going to be worth buying for fans of BF4? Well, honestly I think it is, and I think the community needs to keep an open mind with this one, because a lot of people have already written Hardline off. Hardline not only is being developed by a new studio, it's a completely new theme, and it could end up being a great new addition to the series. The gaming community is frequently guilty of crying out for innovation and then bitching about it when they get it, so I'm optimistic about Hardline because I don't want to see my favourite series go down the COD, rinse and repeat path. But anyway guys, that just about wraps up this video, so let me know what you think, and let me know if you're going to be buying Hardline in the comment section below. As always, if you like what you see, please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and if you haven't already, please check out all my other Battlefield 4 videos. I've got them all linked in a playlist in the description below. But until next time, see you later, and have a good one.